Hi everybody! My name is Desiree and I am a spirit medium, Reiki master, and workshop facilitator. In the last video, we discussed the basics of how you can receive information from the other side through learning about the 6 magical, mystical, metaphysical senses. Ever since I posted that last video, I've had a number of you reach out to me and share about really amazing experiences that you've had with your metaphysical senses. And some of you even shared that you started to experience these metaphysical senses for the first time after seeing the video from last time, which I thought was amazing. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time during this journey. I absolutely love hearing about your stories of spirit communication. Next on this channel, I want to start looking at who is working with you on the other side. I want to begin to introduce you to your spirit guidance team, which includes your higher self, your spirit guides, your master teachers, angels, animal totems, the list goes on. Today, however, we're going to really zoom in and focus on your higher self. If you've been exploring spirituality or spirit communication for a long time, it is very likely that you are already familiar with the term higher self. It's also possible that you may have heard of higher self along the way, but not been entirely sure what it means. Or maybe this is the very first time you're ever hearing about this idea of us having a higher self. So wherever you're at today is perfect, and I hope that you will enjoy the video and hopefully learn something new. As always, I'm going to share my experience of the higher self in this video, and if for whatever reason it does not resonate with you, there's no need to take it with you today. The first thing that is important to understand when you are starting to look at the higher self is the idea that your spirit is multifaceted in nature. Similarly to how you can be thinking one thing while simultaneously doing something else, your spirit can take this ability to the next level by actually being able to focus your spiritual essence in more than one place or dimension at the same time. So, when you entered the earth plane to live this lifetime, you only brought a portion of your spirit's energy into this physical body. The rest of your spirit remains rooted on the other side, and this is your higher self. So in this way, you are able to coexist on multiple planes of existence. You can continue your growth in the higher dimensions while simultaneously living your life on Earth at the same time. Pretty sci-fi, I know. One way that I like to think of it is that your entire spirit is like a bucket of water. And whenever you come to Earth to live a lifetime, you take one glass of water out of the bucket and you pour it into a human body. Then at the end of your lifetime on Earth, you are able to rejoin the greater bucket of your higher self. You're poured back into that greater expanse of who you are, and you are once again connected with the totality of your being. Your higher self is this treasure trove of knowledge and wisdom that you have collected throughout the ages. Your higher self is able to remember every single moment that you have experienced in this lifetime, as well as all of your past lifetimes that you lived before this lifetime. Your human brain might forget something that happened when you were 2 years old, but your higher self will remember every single moment that you have lived. In addition, your higher self is the part of you that remembers the conscious decision that you made to come and live on Earth as a human being. So that means that your higher self remembers your life purpose and the life lessons that you wish to learn for yourself in this lifetime. One thing that I want to mention right away is that your higher self is not better than you or superior to you in any way. Your higher self is called the higher self because it is the part of you that exists in the higher dimensions, where there is a higher frequency, a faster vibration of energy that is occurring in these other dimensions. When I've communicated with my client's higher self in a reading, some of them have communicated to me that they do not wish to be called the term higher self at all. Sometimes they've said they like the word greater self, as in it is a greater whole that you are a part of, or they might prefer the term expanded self. I actually had one humorous higher self tell me that he wanted to be called super self, and he came in wearing a cape and really milked his superhero powers. Both your higher self and your human self are equally important. You can think of it like a tree. If the entirety of your spirit is the entire tree, then you, as a human being living this lifetime, is one branch of that greater tree of your soul. And so, when you are here on earth, going through different trials and tribulations, going through different successes and growth opportunities, you are growing that branch of the tree, and therefore you are growing the entirety of your being, your whole self. So of course, both your higher self and human self aspects are equally valuable and need to be honored. So I can tell you from experience that it is possible to connect with your own higher self through meditation. But when you do this, what will your higher self look like? This is a very interesting question. In the spirit world, it's actually possible for you to choose what you look like with your own thoughts. Therefore, if you ask to connect with your higher self in meditation, you may find that your higher self doesn't look anything like you in this physical lifetime. Your higher self may present themselves as a different race than you, a different age, a different gender. Anything's possible. And this appearance may change from day to day. Sometimes your higher self may choose to borrow a look from one of your past lives. Maybe this was a lifetime that you were particularly happy, or you felt particularly yourself. And then your higher self might decide that that's the way that you like to look when you're on the other side. Your higher self may also choose to appear as a colorful light energy that's pure energy and is not really taking a human-like form. So as you can see, there's a lot of different possibilities of what your higher self might look like. And since your higher self may or may not look like you, I feel that it is easiest to recognize your higher self through feeling, through noticing the similarity that you have with the spirit and connecting with the pure essence that is you. You are always in connection with your higher self, but you might not be aware of the connection that you have. Becoming more conscious of your connection with your higher self can be really helpful for several different reasons. For one, as I mentioned, your higher self is the aspect of you that remembers all of your previous lifetimes. So if you are looking to understand more about yourself through discovering your past lives, connecting with your higher self could be a really good way to do that. Your higher self can also give you helpful tips and reminders about your life plan and purpose in this life. And lastly, because your higher self has gathered wisdom from all of the lifetimes that you've had and all of the experiences you've had on the other side between your lifetimes. Connecting with your higher self can give you some much needed perspective. I've had some really wonderful personal experiences with my own higher self. I generally tend to connect with my higher self when I feel like in my own mind I'm a little bit stuck. I'm getting a little too limited in the thinking of my own human brain, and I need to see things from a broader perspective. And I feel that communicating with my higher self at those times has been really helpful. One thing that's been kind of interesting is my higher self has actually gone and visited people in their dreams. And what's been really fascinating is my higher self tends to show up the same way to different people who are not connected and do not know each other at all. Most people have told me when they see my higher self in a dream that she looks kind of like me, but a little bit more Asian than I currently look, which I think is quite interesting. My mom, Terri, has also visited people in dreams through her higher self. And for her, she always shows up in a white dress. People have told her, you know, Terri, you came and visited me in a dream last night and you were wearing a white dress. And whenever someone tells my mom about that, her and I will laugh about it because we know this is the favorite way that her higher self likes to come and visit people. My clients really love connecting with their higher selves in their readings. And I think the reason for this is because your higher self is literally you. So who else is going to get you better than yourself? When I've connected with my client's higher self in a reading, sometimes the higher self will use identical words and phrases to that which my client uses, and my client will tell me, that's what I always say. And I think it's fun to see the similarities that you have as a being in multiple planes of existence. The other thing that can happen in my readings is sometimes I will have the higher self of somebody who is connected to my client come in to give a message. Usually this happens if the human self of a person they're connected with on Earth is not really able to communicate for themselves. Perhaps the person is in a coma. Perhaps they have dementia and they're not able to communicate as they normally would. And so sometimes I've had some really powerful healing visitations from higher selves of people who are still on Earth that wish to communicate something to my client that their human self is not able to say. After hearing a little bit about the higher self, I'm sure some of you are wondering, how can I connect more with my higher self? And fortunately, there is lots of different ways that you can connect. In my opinion, your intention to connect with your higher self is the most important thing. So after this video, if you put out to the universe, if you put out to your higher self, I'm ready to connect with you, I want to learn more about you, you can put that intention out there, and I'm sure opportunities will come that allow you to connect more with your higher self. The main ways that I have connected with my higher self are through automatic writing and through meditation. We will discuss more about automatic writing in a future video, but for now I'll give you the short elevator pitch version. The first thing that you want to do is set the intention to communicate with your higher self. Then from there, you begin to either write in your journal or type in the computer whatever starts to come to you without thinking about it. And then you go back and you read it and you see what message came through. It is possible that you could write down a few different questions for your higher self. An example question could be, what can you tell me about my life purpose? Or what are some ways I could greater enjoy my life experience? And have fun with it. This might be a really great way to start to build that connection with your higher self. You could also communicate with your higher self through tarot cards or another divination method that you like to use. Simply ask for your higher self to come in and communicate with you, and then draw your cards, and you might find that you get some greater insight into what the cards mean once you've called in your own higher self. And then, as I said, the last way that I'll mention that you could connect with your higher self is through meditation. And it is my intention that the very next video that I will post will be a guided journey to connect with and meet with your higher self. So that's what we can look forward to exploring together next time. Okay, everybody, that was your introduction to the higher self. It was really fun to sit down and talk about some of these experiences that I've had with the higher self, and I hope that you will get to have more of your own experiences moving forward. If you like this video, please feel free to hit the like button below, leave a comment about what you might have learned from this video or any experiences that you've had with your higher self. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to keep going on this journey with us. It's been a whole lot of fun so far, and we're just getting started. So up and away we go, friends. Hope you have a beautiful week, and I'm sending you lots of love. You can continue your growth in the higher dimensions while then, or you felt part